Hello, I'm Ben Bingham with the Eastern Shawnee Tribe's Native Connection Program, and today I have Brandon McCombs here with us, and he's the tribal counselor, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about mourning the loss of a loved one.
Well, Ben, thanks for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity. Here over the last few weeks and months, we've experienced a lot of losing loved ones in our community, and so we wanted to take this time to just spend a little bit of time understanding, use the word mourning, and being able to take a break from the chaos that surrounds us in everyday life and celebrate the life of those who have gone before us. And Ben, you know, those of us that are left behind, we are left with pain, mentally, physically, emotionally, from losing those that go before us. And there's a place in our heart that is a void, and it's important on how we fill that and how we manage that void in our life.
Well, Brandon, you bring up some good questions. I was thinking, can you tell us how's a way we can accept the loss of our loved one?
Well, after a death, it's common that reality of the situation, that we accept it for what it is. I always encourage people, it's okay to say that they have passed away, that they have died, that they have deceased. And we don't want to just minimize their life, because life is just not what happens from birth until death, but it's including birth, and it includes death. And so we want to take and encapsulate the entire essence of who we are. So again, both mentally and emotionally, we have to get to a place where we accept exactly what has happened in that situation. And we do that by spending time with those around us, talking and celebrating those life moments.
I see. How do you go about processing the pain that generally you have when you're grieving?
That's a great question, Ben. I'm very privileged to be able to speak at a lot of life celebrations. And the number one question asked to me is, when this is over, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? And what we do is we honor those that go before us by how we live our life now. Everyone's life has a component of DNA or legacy. In the movie Sandlot, about a bunch of kids and a little baseball, and the beast over on the other side was a big dog, and those kids were scared, and they hit the ball over the fence, Ben, and when they hit it over the fence, they couldn't get it back. And the star baseball kid, the player, his name was Benny the Jet Rodriguez. And he's asleep one night in his room, and he has a dream that Babe Ruth appears to him. And when Babe Ruth appears, he tells him to put his PF Flyers on, because they make him run fast, apparently. And they tell him, Babe Ruth says, go and get that ball. And he says, I can't do it. And he says, you can. He says, because heroes get remembered, but legends never die. So Ben, I tell you that story because one of the essence of encapsulation of someone's life is understanding that they're not just heroes to us, but they're people who never die, because their DNA and their legacy, it lives through us. And as it lives through us, we make decisions based on our relationship with them. We'll miss the opportunity to ask them questions, do things that they did, those moments that maybe you went to lunch at a certain place, or they like certain foods, and it triggers their memory. What they poured into us and how they live their life is a great way for us to honor them by how we live our life.
I see. That's very interesting. Now, when you lose a loved one, there's always a period of adjustment. So what's some ways you can adjust to living in a world without that loved one?
Well, again, a fantastic question. There's always an internal adjustment within yourself. And that internal adjustment is having life without them. You're not able to make that phone call. So there's moments that you miss. I always encourage people to make a list and say, missed moments in life. Like, how do you miss them the most? And maybe it's spending time with them. Maybe it's their presence. Maybe it's their laughter, their smile. Maybe I had one recently where they said, I miss taking to Burger King to get a burger every Thursday night. And just that opportunity that you have, internally with you, what do you miss? And how did that person's life affect you? Then secondly, we also have to talk about external moments. And those external moments are things that they put into our life, maybe new skills, maybe the way we see things differently due to their input and output in our life. And then lastly, we also want to talk about spiritual adjustments. And whether you believe in a higher power, in a God, or you believe in whatever the world has thrown at us, there are beliefs that we have to make adjustments for based upon losing someone in that situation.
That's very helpful. I appreciate it, Brenda. I guess, with all that being said, what are ways that you can keep remembering your loved one even after they've passed? You never want to forget someone who's close to you.
Yeah, so I always remember people. I think the key for me, and as I live life with people, and I think as we talk about this today, is moving on doesn't mean forgetting. And life continues, and today the sun will come up and tomorrow the sun will go down, and life continues on even though those special people in our life have passed away. And moving on with our life doesn't mean that we've forgotten them. But what it means is how we move forward helps us with how we remember them. Do we move on with an intentionality in our heart and our life to honor them? Maybe with what we say, what we do, how we live life? Or is it we move on and it's out of sight, out of mind? And so to me, Ben, and losing people in our life will always be difficult. And it's one of the few commonalities in life we're all going to have it in common, that we are all going to experience pain of what it's like to lose someone. But when we do that with the intent of understanding just by moving on doesn't mean that we have forgotten them. It changes how we can live life, influencing those around us. So one day when we're gone, what will people say about our legacy, our DNA? And are we just a hero, or will we be remembered as a legend that never died?
Well, Brandon, that gave me a lot to think about. I appreciate it. And thank you for taking the time to sit here and go over this with us. And I'd like to say thank you to everybody out there who's sat and listened to us, and I hope you're having a good day.
Hello, it's me, Ben Bingham again. I'm with Eastern Shawnee Tribes Native Connected program. Today we're going to talk about how to count Shawnee. We're going to go to number 1 through 10 as part of our cultural aspect of the videos we do. So I'm going to count to 1 and 10, and if you would like to know more, you can always reach me at bbingham@estoo.net or 238-5151 extension 1860, or you're always welcome to contact our language specialist, Brett Barnes, in the cultural department. So let's get started. So number 1 is Nikoti, number 2 is Nisui, number 3 is Ntui, number 4 is Niewi, number 5 is Nekotwatui, number 6 is Nekotwatui, number 7 is Niswatui, number 8 is Thwasuktui, number 9 is Chakatui, and number 10 is Metatui. That's how you count through 1 through 10 in Shawnee. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, and have a good day. Thank you.